Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. I believe we've all been in the situation where you wake up one day and you think, life is not exactly the way I think it should be. Inside, you feel there's more, that you should be potentially in another direction, maybe a different relationship, but you're not really sure why you're in this situation. But you truly believe there's something better out there. Not that we always have to have more, but when it comes from inside, yeah, sure, it'd be great to have that, awesome sports car. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the feeling inside where it's calling you. It's it's your internal phone is ringing,
Yeah.
and you're not picking it up, but you don't know why. We're gonna tell you why today, and dig deeper into what may be holding you back, and it may surprise you as well. This gentleman walks the journey with you, and he's done it for a lot of people. It all started with himself in trying to figure out what's going on, as many of us really do. He's an amazing spiritual coach, and he is Judd Fink, and he's back with us. Welcome back. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Steve. How are you?
I'm
Thanks for having
well.
me.
I'm well. Uh, I'm gratified that we're going to talk about this today because it is truly everything.
Yeah,
Really,
it really
I'm
is.
trying to find the best words to describe here, but it is the reason why we do what we do,
Mm-hmm.
whether we know why we do it or not.
Yeah,
And it comes back to one thing: the subconscious, right?
absolutely. Everything does. Everything does throughout your life. And it's your subconscious is developed most in childhood. That's where all of your beliefs come from about yourself, positive, negative, your influences, beliefs that were placed on you by yourself based on your circumstances or belief systems or whatever that was placed on you by others, expectations that were placed on you by
Mm,
others as well, and who they want you to be. And in that process,
mm,
they don't know that they're being selfish in that way. They're just living their lives the way they know how to live their lives based on their subconscious beliefs and what they've experienced as well. So it's accepting people for who they are in that process as well. But the way that we're programmed leads us into the rest of our lives. And I can talk about my own experience and where I was abused a lot in different ways, physically, mentally, isolated in my room as well, taking the love away. So I told myself subconsciously that I don't deserve to be loved. I'm not worth it, you know. And that led me through
mm,
life in a way to find love in other places and not realizing that entire time until I came to the point of the realization that it's actually inside of myself. Everything is inside of myself and everything is inside of everyone else. We are the universe. It's what we attract based on our subconscious beliefs. We can have anything that we want. We just have to co-create with it. And through my life, it was, you know, addictive behaviors is what were developed out of that. And first it focused on sports and I hyper focused on that because I wanted acceptance and love. And I achieved good things in that, but it wasn't fulfilling because it actually wasn't for me. I wasn't doing it for myself. And it was just an outlet because of my fast paced mind, my racing mind, because I was afraid all the time. Uh, just to be existing. I didn't know what was around the corner, because of my beliefs, because of the abuse that I endured. And and then it developed these patterns, right? Where and I didn't recognize what I was doing at the time, hurting myself and hurting other people. And these patterns were, not wanting to feel and numbing through drugs and alcohol, and how that affects other people as well, and affecting myself and hurting myself the entire time, not being loved. And what I was attracting from that were the people that came around me that also didn't love themselves and didn't know how to give love, also drugs, also alcohol, also abusing themselves. And based on that vibrational level, because that's what it is, you're not even, nobody is even aware that that's what they're doing, putting that out there into the universe, into the ether, because that's what comes back to you. based on your beliefs. And it was through the process of I had to literally go through everything, lose everything that I knew as my life to be able to recognize these patterns. And I'm going to be honest, like I still, have work through some of those patterns every now and then. I mean, it's just is what it is. But it's being conscious now and recognizing it and saying, "Oh, I remember this. I don't have to do this." It's a different point of view now. It's there to recognize and to learn from, you know. And we get so wrapped up in trying to control things that we can't control, and that's where those patterns come from. You know, we're seeking all this stuff outside of ourselves, an uncontrollable situation in a relationship or an uncontrollable situation in a job, when the easiest thing to do is just let go and trust that it's going to work out as long as you're doing your part and doing the things that you need to do to love yourself and develop. And I had to go through, reinventing myself and taking care of myself. And the way that I did that was working out, yoga, meditating, and doing all these things. And then that propelled me forward into taking action, inspired action in the moment, because you have to take it in the moment when those things come about, and to create whatever that is for you, whatever is exciting to you, whatever you love to do, because that is loving yourself through that process, and it's just
I have to believe too, when these
yeah,
things come up, like you said, even though you've done the work and every once in a while something will come up and you're like, whoa, 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 that you know how to react to it better and how to change it, stop it, whatever it might be. Where, let's say, people that haven't done the work on themselves might jump down that rabbit hole again. They say, I'm not going to do, my addiction issues, I'm never going to have it again. Never, and then all of a sudden something triggers and you're right back into it. But if you've worked with somebody like yourself and you've worked on yourself with that guidance, when those things come up, you may stand at the edge of the rabbit hole and say, "Whoa, wait a minute! I'm not going down. It's close, but I'm not going down there now because I know.
yeah,
Now I know why I'm doing it, and I figured it out." I struggle with understanding why more people don't know about the subconscious and the power of it and what it's doing for us or to us, depending on how you look at it. They don't teach it in school. It to me, it's so important, and it's
yeah,
just kind of like thrown to the wayside. But it's nothing new. This has been known for many, 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 many decades. Why do you think that is? Why are we not plugged into it more?
I don't really have a great answer for that question, but I do believe it's that, you know, people are just unaware overall, because we're in this system of being taught to go to school and learn these things that, like, to have a general knowledge of everything. And I think it's to, you know, be a worker. We're being told to go to school to be a worker, and and not develop ourselves, our subconscious beliefs in that, from that. It's just, like straight lines basically. And really, school is a good thing. I'm not saying that it's not, but how much of school, after, when you go into real life after you graduate, do you actually use? You know what I mean? How
Oh
much
yeah,
how much of it do you actually use? You don't use much of it at all. But you know these things, and that's great. You have a general knowledge, but the real knowledge does come from learning about your subconscious and learning about yourself, because it's through the self that the most is learned, that the most you can possibly learn ever is from yourself and your own experience, you know.
yeah.
And then it's a great thing to tell your story so that other people can gain knowledge from your story, because it can resonate with them and help them. You know, everybody went to school. I mean, you know what I mean? But everybody doesn't have your experience. Everyone's individual experience is completely different and unique, you know. But there are some similarities that can help people. I've been through this, I've been through that. And, whatever has happened to you, there's somebody else out there that should very much hear your story, because it can be profound for them and propel them forward in the ways that they need to be propelled, because they might not even know that they need to do it until they hear your story, and
Yep.
because it can be so similar. I'm getting emotional.
Hearing yours,
sorry,
yeah. I'm feeling yours. Like you're backing up what I believe, and in the work I've done on myself, it just backs it up. Like I get it. Like, wow, okay, yeah. The big question mark for all of us is the believing that anything is possible.
Oh my gosh, it is. It very much is. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
it's like this creates it, and it will be. Why doesn't it materialize? Maybe there are things holding you back. Maybe you're not letting go of this so that you can grab that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. And I'm being also patience, man. Patience. Not everything happens in the moment. It's doing the work and staying consistent for yourself and programming through that, reprogramming your subconscious beliefs and having that patience and being free to live in the moment, is a trained behavior as well. You're worried about the future if you're being impatient, right? And it's the past that shapes our subconscious beliefs. So being in the moment is so important, and letting go of that control in that process, oh my gosh, it can be so difficult, right? Because we want what we want, and we want to be better. We want what we want because of fear, right? We that's what it comes back to, right? It's just overall being fearful, and it's totally understandable. The human condition is very it's a simple thing but complex at the same time, and it's just so amazing how everything works, and how you move forward when you live in the moment, and you don't project things into the future, and you're just okay with how things work out, however they do, It's all divine timing. Seriously,
It's so true. Yeah. It's like, and if there's anything that I tell people based on my experience that are going through things, people are going through things. It's just what you said. It's live in the moment. And I don't know if I ever shared this with you, but in my journey, I'll be transparent. Found out I was getting divorced. My kids had no idea. That was 3 years ago. It was a bomb that was dropped. Yeah. It messed up my kids, in many ways. And it was, a challenge. But weeks later, I met somebody, and it was almost like the universe put her in front of me, and then she was just passing through. Yeah. And she said to me, "Why don't you ever live in the moment?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Why do you ever live in the moment?" And it took me a couple of weeks to figure it out. Then I was like, "Oh, okay." And slowly it takes time for you to harness that in the moment thing. Mm-hmm. But once you've gotten it, it's beautiful, because at first you feel guilty. Well, I'm not thinking about the future, and I'm not thinking about the past, but I need to think about the future. My car lease is going to be up in 5 months, and I got to come up with a plan. The hell with that.
To hell with that is right. Yeah, it'll work out.
It'll work out. And thank you for saying that. That's the other part of it. When you have to live in the moment. You need to live in the moment, but then you need to have that faith. And I don't just mean in religion, but faith in yourself, faith in the universe, that it doesn't want to hurt you. It wants the best. My belief is, if you do the right thing, it wants the best for you. Mm-hmm. And the right thing is universal for others. Some can say, well, I did the right thing. Yeah, for yourself. That doesn't mean it was for the greater good. If you think of it that way, it'll all work out. It'll all come together. Absolutely. If you live in the moment and have that faith. Easy to do? No.
No. It's hard to trust that, isn't it? But really, very much. Like, what you want wants you. It very much does.
Interesting way to look at it.
And it's those beliefs, it goes back to everything. I mean, everything goes back to what you believe about yourself and what you're worth. You know, it really does.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know it's hard to let go. I know it's really hard to let go of that control of how things are going to play out, how things are going to happen. But when you do let go and you just sit back, you know, and you're able to take that deep breath and release it, or however you do it, there's different ways to do that, you know. It's just very freeing, and you'll feel it. You will feel it in your body, and it's that energy, you know. And then also in that process, being aware that, oh, I just need to take a step back, you know, take a deep breath, you know, and recenter myself. However you do that, you know. But
well, many people don't know how to do it either. You know, that
they're not presented with it. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
yeah. But people have to. I'm not going to say everybody, but most people will get to a point where they do seek outside. You know, they do seek help. They do go and do that because the universe presents them with that opportunity to do so. Not everybody is always presented with that opportunity because of circumstances that are going on in their lives, you know?
Sure.
And wherever they're at. I mean, I wish everybody could get help, and, you know, I really do. I want everybody to be the best versions of themselves and go and live the lives that they want to live, that they truly want to live. And it's too bad that that's not the case, but maybe in this lifetime, that's not their purpose. The purpose is to go through their stuff and learn, you know. Everything is an opportunity to learn from, you know.
True.
Yeah.
And that, you know, brings me back to what I said a little while ago, and that why is this not more widely known?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you know, we're past the woo-woo stage when it comes to the subconscious. It's been, but maybe it's because it's not tangible. Maybe, right. You know, can't go to, you know, you go to the doctor, you get some pills, you leave. You know,
yeah,
like,
for sure.
You know, there's something tangible, transaction going on there. When it comes to the subconscious, I can't see it. We can't see it. We can't taste it, smell it, quantify it, know how mucked up it is. We don't know. So it's hard to, so then people just say, well, you know, we're not going to teach that in school. Then we'll put that over to the side. Let, you know, people deal with that somewhere else. But when you figure out that it's everything in your life, it is the blueprint, the GPS in your life. Oh my gosh, it's everything.
It is everything.
Crazy.
It is.
Yeah,
it really is. But like, we're all given the opportunity to connect at some point to your higher self, you know, to come to these realizations, you know, and it's all for me, I can speak for me. It's always been through like struggle and heartbreak and all of these things, you know, and like, that is where you get to realize, like, man, okay, I have the opportunity to change this. I can change myself. But and then it's going through the process of consistently showing up for yourself and believing in yourself and loving yourself. Eating better food, working out, whatever, you know, eating healthy is huge for me. It really is. You know, it's paramount in my life. Yeah. And it's easier for me to connect and get these, you know, messages, if you will, this from my higher self. And it's those tools that I use to help people as well. So, and I'm so grateful for my life and everything that I've been through. You know, it's just so, it's so perfectly imperfect. I'm just so you know, it's great.
Well, you've come to the grips with the universe where you needed to do this to get to this. Mm-hmm. I feel this way, same way myself. I'm seeing it in you, and I think I'm detecting it. But over here, there's blanking great things over there. Can't wait. You know, all right, I can wait. Need to be. You know, it's on its way.
Yeah.
But we have to, like you said, be patient, and not to get deep into manifesting, because there would be 3 podcasts potentially.
Yeah.
But not taking the, back to your patience point, not taking the route of negativity. Well, when is it going to happen? When am I going to meet that person? When am I going to make more money? When is going to, no, now you're coming from a place of lack and negativity. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's going to happen. can't tell you how many times I went yesterday to see, got tickets to a show, went to see a show. Um, oh my gosh, no parking spaces. What
Yeah.
am I going to do?
Yeah.
I do it every single time, and people can laugh at me. Try it, do whatever you want. I just manifested it. Gonna be a space. I'm gonna find a space. I'm
Yeah.
zipping around here. It's coming up. It was the most unconventional space ever. And I'll be honest with you, it was in a parking garage, and it was sort of on yellow lines. But one of the employees of the garage, and I'm backing in. I'm like, I don't want to get towed. I'm not going to get a ticket, but whatever. I'm going to trust it's going to be okay because I'm not creating a hazard at all. It
Yeah.
wasn't. Um, Getting out of the car was somebody that worked at the hotel, and he walks by. He's like, "You good?" It was almost like the universe
Yes.
dropped him in there and said, because I had to go. I mean, paid money for tickets. I got to get going here.
Yeah.
It was like he was saying, yeah, you're good. Don't worry about that. And I came back, no problem, zipped on off, but I manifested it. I did.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, And
Yeah.
what I said when I was first pulling into the, looking for spaces, I said, should have manifested before I got there. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to find a space. And I always say, if somebody needs it more than me, let them have the space. That's quite all right. Let's say they have a handicap. That's fine. But I need one. Universe, I'm running late. And, I looked everywhere and bam, there it was. So I believe if you come from a place of positivity and believe it's going to happen, and why wouldn't you? People say oh, it's woo woo. What do you got to lose?
Yeah. What do you have to lose? Exactly.
Nothing.
Exactly. It's as you do that too, you don't even know. That's the other thing. When you're on the path, the people, like you just described, the people and the things just show up to help you. I mean, it just happens. You don't even have to effort it. You actually don't have to effort anything at all. You just have to believe that this stuff is going to happen. Like you just said, you just did that in that moment.
Yeah.
That you're going to find a spot, and you did. Yeah.
And you're right. And for a moment, I questioned it because there were some, lines drawn, but there was no obvious reason why that was there. It wasn't a fire hazard. It was in a garage that's, away from the building, all of that. But my gut was telling me, it's fine. You're going to be fine. You're not getting towed. There's no ticket. And then, like, exactly to your point, to back that up was the gentleman that walked by and just said, fine.
Oh,
he knew, like he figured it out, and he just happened to be passing by, and then I was like, all right, let's get out of the car, we're good to go. Awesome. And it was fine.
Yeah, and it all worked out. Exactly.
And it all worked out because you have faith. And I had and go with your gut. But we can do a podcast on gut, intuition, and all of that. Ooh. My intuition said the space is all right. Don't worry about it. There was no signs. There was nothing that said don't park here. Anything but tow your vehicle. Yeah. Nothing. There was no signs of anything.
Yeah. So isn't that also a process, like just through life, where when you are connected and trusting your intuition, isn't that like, can't that be difficult at times? Like, because you'll man. Even I'll use an example of like something in my refrigerator. Like something that a can of soda or whatever that I know that I shouldn't drink, and then I'll reach for it, and then my intuition says no, and I'm like, okay, all right, I'm not drinking that. You know what I mean? I'll drink the kombucha instead.
It's we're out of time, but I'm right there with you. I have on my phone, and I wrote this down a couple of years ago. All I need is within me now.
It is.
All I need is within me now. Everything to heal, everything to move your life forward, it's all there. You need to listen to it. Just like you said, the voice says to you, don't drink that. That's not supporting you. That's not good. Yeah. But it takes time to receive it, to hear the messages come through clear. Because if you need to make a decision, you already know the answer.
You do. You absolutely do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's trusting. It's hearing the answer and then trusting it's the right answer. How do we connect with you, Judd? I want the best way to, go through this, even start the journey. I'm sure, we've brought up a lot of stuff in a short period of time.
Yeah.
People have questions about all of that. How do we do that?
All right. You can reach me at spiritualpathcoaching.com. And my email is jfink@spiritualpathcoaching.com, or my phone number is 309-431-1706. That's my business line that you can get a hold of me on. Or you can contact me through Instagram. It's Judd_Fink. There's many different ways that you can get a hold of me. So
yeah, great talking with you today. And like your vibe is, I know you've gone through a lot, but your vibe is like so positive and powerful. And you have a great desire. It's your purpose to help people.
yeah. Yes, it is. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for a great talk. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back.